knew it. I knew it. Well, there's some freedom in that, man. If I could really just think that while I'm asleep, God is handling all these problems, managing all these things that I feel like I have to manage or take care of. You know, that's a big deal, man. Trying to get to that level. You know what I'm saying? I also want some of them, I think he was talking about Xanax, don't you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd be leaving cabinet doors open, and how did I wind up with all this stuff? What happened, man? Like, oh, man. I was a thief. Silver tongue thief, bro. Man. All right. So, the opposite of fear isn't courage, it's faith. So what does faith in Jesus involve when we're up against the giant of fear? Tricky question. Here we go. 1 second. Some people understood it. No, I'm just kidding.
What up, Worm? Ooh.
What up, we got T?
Nothing. It's kind of loud, but anyway.
It's all right. Hold it farther away.
Oh, like that.
I
All
see
right,
you go. Mic control.
But hold on. We talk too much. Can you repeat that question?
It's all right. Yep. I thought somebody understood it. All right.
I thought I did too.
That's all right. What does faith in Jesus involve when we're up against the giant of fear?
Oh, like, okay. You got to have place your fear in God. You know, like place that fear that you got, and you got to give it to God at the end of it all.
Yeah.
I had a better answer, but I think I forgot.
All right. No, that was good. Appreciate it. There are no wrong answers.
It's like, you know, faith is something you can't see, so it's hard to, you know what I mean? It's hard to lean on that, because faith, you can't see it. It's just there, and you gotta lean on it.
Yeah.
If I understood what he was saying correctly, we got to get, quote, down to the cause of the fear.
Yep.
So that means, like we learn in our steps, we have to put a name to it.
Right.
So we can give it to God and just keep giving it to him if we have to, till he takes it, and we have faith and confidence that he did take it, that we don't have to dwell on it anymore. And we got to quit playing the woulda, shoulda, couldas.
Oh, morbid reflection.
Trusting in God.
Yep.
It involves patience.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely not an overnight matter.
I think it involves handing it over to God and not taking it back, because he'll hand it back to you when you ask for it back, and then he's not going to take care of it for you because you already asked for it back.
It's hard to do, isn't it? I hear you take it. Well, give it back. I want it. Well, let me control a little bit of this now. I want a little control.
For me, it means like showing up to every battle, not knowing how you're going to win it or God, just because, or how you're not going to win it, or if you will, just knowing that it's God's fight.
Yeah, absolutely. That's some faith right there.
When I read the Bible, it's always talking about fearing God. So at some point, you're going to have to fear him more than your fears, because he wants you to, and he's not going to give you something like, he's not going to just make it all easy on you to not have no worries, because God says if you knock at his door, he's going to have to answer. So if you're worrying about something, you need to look to God. You can't just be like, oh, how am I going to fix it? You need to be like, God, you need to let me know. You need to fix it for me, because if you have no fears and no worries, he wants you to ask him. Like, he's not just going to be like, no, he wants you to come to him like a kid. Like, your kid's going to need something. You're going to need something.
Yeah. Very good, yeah. Like, I can't fix it. You're going to have to. I think the struggle is we're all raised, I don't know, I think most of us anyways, where people were telling us, look, this is your life. You're in control of your life. Nobody's coming to save you. You want this, you got to go get it. You got to work hard. You got to do this. You got to do that. So now I'm raised to think, well, shit, I got to put in all this work and this effort. You know, it's going to take all this stuff on my part, so I need to have some control. Only to find out my own personal experience, when I was in control, I burned my life to the ground, dude. You know, so and I think it took that for me to finally realize that I don't need to have control over my life. You know what I mean? I need to give it up. And like you said, you got to have patience with that, because it's not going to just happen overnight, especially, you know, if you've been doing it that way for so long. So, what's wrong with concealing our fears from others? So what's wrong with hiding our fears from others?
For me, it created a lot of shame. And so everything I did was based out of shame and guilt. And once I was open about everything and anything, now I'm an open book, and all of those things have so much less power over me than they did when I was hiding them, because I was fearful of what others might think or say or do, or all of that.
Yeah.
I was raised in a home of, like you, where what ifs, and everybody's out to get you. The world is not your friend. You don't have friends. You only have family. What happens in the home stays in the home, and, all that stuff, and now that I'm more open about my life, my things I struggle with, a lot less power is generated by trying to hide that stuff and deal with it on my own.
Yeah, I think that's a tool that the enemy uses to keep us in that, because he'll say, well, it's that voice, that noise, right, in our head saying, don't tell nobody about that. You're the only person that's did that. What are they going to think of you? And then we hang on to that, and it creates all this fear when we find out that once we tell somebody, it's just like, it doesn't have power anymore. There was things I was not going to tell. I was taking stuff to my grave, dude. And we've all got that stuff. And even when I did my 5th step, I didn't even write it on my 4th step, because first of all, I didn't need to write it down, because I knew what it was, because it'd been rent-free up here for years. And then, I wasn't going to tell them. And the 5th step, I even hung on to it till the end. And my 5th step partner asked me a question at the end of it that was, I still use it to this day when I'm doing 5th steps with people, is there anything you didn't write down that you need to tell me about? So I just said, all right, here we go. Blah, right? Crazy thing is, he done almost the exact same thing. And he was like, I held on to that for all these years, and it controlled my life for no freaking reason. And I think that's some of the noise, like Goliath taunting, that the noise is that stuff the enemy's using to keep us down, man. You got to freaking get that stuff out, because then you can, be so free, man. Somebody else have something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like when you keep fears inside and don't like share or try to work, I feel like they just manifest and turns into another fear or a bigger fear, and then it just becomes more and more fears on top of fears on top of fears, or even the fears get bigger.
Sure. No, I agree with that.
Well, secrets keep us sick, and fears just like keeping a secret. And with me, if I don't address my fears honestly and straight up, and then it just goes into one thing. It leads from me hiding a fear to then telling a small white lie to another big lie, which sets the ball rolling and puts me back into the cycle again.
Yep.
And then it just goes on and on and on, and then I relapse.
Very good. Yep.
For me, I think hiding fear from people is like, I think we're here to like connect with people, and if you're not sharing not just like the big things in your life, but what you're fearful of, like I don't grow, I'm not growing, even just like in a small situations in my life, like, work, and if somebody is like fearing they're not doing good enough, you have to let them know, like, look, dude, I do it too, like I may be good now, but I wasn't then, and it applies to like everything, and like that's something that I've really been learning lately, is that like sharing things that scare me is gonna pull somebody else, that's how you connect with people, and I believe it's all about connection, and when I did my 4-step, like I picked somebody that I didn't know who was an older woman which is another one of my fears, connecting with older women because, hello, I have mommy issues, like 100, like,
Hey,
period.
you know it though. That's good, man. You
Yeah,
that's
and-
how you heal this stuff, man. That's good.
And I picked somebody, and now, like, I trust an older woman, like, and it's just anything like that. And I'm being really real, okay? That's 100,
good. No,
okay?
that's
I'm
good.
not lying there.
That's good.
We don't got to talk about it anymore.
No, that's great. Hey, thanks for sharing, man. That's good. That's good stuff.
It's the
Yeah.
situations that I leave God out of. It's the ones that's when I get fearful, is when I don't bring God into it.
Mhm.
When I want to do it on my own
Oh, yeah.
and leave him out, that's where it gets complicated. It's just as easy as saying, hey, God, when you're looking at it with him standing next to you, I don't look bad at all.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. We got one right here.
I think that, especially with your loved ones, if you're not open and transparent with them, it builds walls between you, and then it'll turn into more trust issues, and
No, you're right. You're right. It starts causing, some bitterness between people because we start coming up with these fancied resentments over stuff, and oh yeah.
For me, like trusting in God has made me realize that if I don't share with people, I'm not going to realize that He's placed a solution in somebody right around me. And so when I keep that to myself, I'm just keeping myself isolated from the people that can help my situation.
All right. Yep. What's up? You want a double dip here? We got a double dipper here. No, it's all good. Oh,
Yeah.
two scoops.
I always like 2 scoops. It's
And
more like 2
call it
stoops.
raisin
2
brand.
stoops, but it's
Raisin
fine.
brand.
Anyways, okay, so I wanted to piggyback off what Brad just said because, like, you never know who God's working through.
Yeah.
And, like, somebody that you may not even realize, like, is, like, walking with God and has God in their life, like, prayers are mostly silent. You know what I mean? So, like, Lord knows what homeboy goes at home and does and talks to, big homie about upstairs, So, like, I think it's important to, like, listen to what people are saying, or, like, if people are reaching out to you to listen, because even, like, newcomers, like, this girl just amazed me,
I know,
like,
she
she just snapped, like, what she said was really good, and she just got here 5 minutes ago,
I know, right,
like,
right.
you never know
who
who's
knows
walking
what,
with
yeah.
God, so I think
You're
that's
abs-
really important
you're
to listen
absolutely right.
to what people are talking about, because not everybody's retarded.
We just make retarded decisions sometimes. Anyway, shouldn't say that, but yeah. No, you're right, man. That's how we connect, and I think the hardest part for most of us is asking for help or being vulnerable. Nobody can know that I have weak moments or I'm vulnerable, right? So I'm not gonna try to hide that stuff and not let anybody know it, and it just eats us up, man. Go ahead, sir.
Like for me, if I was hiding my fears, I told somebody about it in my fifth step, and I didn't even know I was scared of the wrong thing. That was totally something different I was scared of.
Yeah.
So my fifth step partner was a grandpa, and he helped me so much.
Was it Jerry Weiss? Oh, I didn't know. I thought he looked over at you. I thought that was it. I mean, Jerry's very wise, man. He's a wise man. What? So let me see here. Let's see which question you want to do. What role do praise and worship have in dealing with fear? Why are they so important? Very good. Makes God big. Super Dave's the only one who follows directions.
I feel like it just allows God and, the Spirit to get into your life when you do that. And
Yeah.
then, as Jerry said, cast out those fears.
Yeah. What role do praise and worship have in dealing with fear? Why are they so important? New question, so she gets to start all over. So it's,
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah. No, I want you to
forgot
share.
what
You
I was
got good
gonna say.
stuff. Please, please. Oh, God. Here we go. She is, isn't she? Living in fear. Oh, we got one here. Brian Lindsay.
Well, when I'm thinking about praise and worship, I don't have time to let fear creep in.
I like it. Very good. Yeah. If I'm singing the songs and I'm in the worship, I'm not thinking those negative thoughts and hearing those negative voices. You're all right, Brian Lindsay.
The man on the TV
Sometimes.
said worry, worship, cast out worry, and what's the other word? Fear. Faith, cast out fear.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said.
That is what he said.
Yeah, that's my answer.
Very good. Good answer.
God will not answer if you don't talk to him and invite him into your life and ask him for things.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Being able to worship and praise your God openly like that is probably a lot of people's fears, you know what I mean? So that's like one of the greatest fears to ever accomplish. So if you can get over that, everything else would probably be minute.
Yeah.
Small compared to those type of fears.
Yeah, and I think that comes from what do we look like? What are people going to think? I look crazy. Yeah. To fully let go and just be in worship, yeah, it can be hard with a bunch of people around, Anybody else? All right, so that's it for tonight, man. That's all I got. I appreciate you guys participating. Let's be in prayer for each other, man, about fears. Remember that, to stay closer to God, because the closer we are, the bigger He is, right? The way I heard it, man, is if I see a 747 jet way up in the sky flying, it looks real small. But if that same jet landed and I walked beside it, it's real big, right? The same way with God. If I'm farther away from God, the smaller He is. The closer I am, the bigger He is. So let's work on that, man. Who wants to pray us out? Anybody? Nick's got it. Go ahead.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, just thank you for tonight. Thank you for this message, Lord. I just pray that we all find a way to give you, just to seek you more. And the more we do, the fears will leave us, Lord. I just pray for everyone in this room. We've all got fears, Lord. You know them. I don't. I just lift them all up to you. Just watch over us, lead, guide, and direct us. And we just thank you for your love, your mercy, and your grace, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Oh, hey. Love y'all. All right, here we go.